Hey guys, Savannah Bell here with My Massage World, and today I want to give you 5 must-dos and 5 common mistakes when starting your massage practice. Now I know there's a lot of you out there who are just dreaming about opening your own business one day, those of you who opened recently, and those of you who maybe have had your own business for a while. Now wherever you are, even if you've had your own practice for several years, you can go back to the beginning, so please don't click away just because you think this is only for those who haven't opened a business yet, because it's not. It applies to everybody. First, we're going to go over the common mistakes of opening a business. So here are the 5 mistakes to avoid when you're starting your massage practice. Number 1, confusing professional experience with business experience. Now, a lot of people think that just because they've been practicing for X number of years, that means that they know how to run a business. But if you've only ever worked for other people, and you've not truly been in the trenches of the day-to-day activities of all the behind-the-scenes stuff in running a business, then you have no idea. So yes, you probably have some great insights into what works and what doesn't when it comes to management, because as an employee somewhere, that's the side that you actually see. But unless you've kept the books and dealt with the financials and handled every client complaint and every employee complaint, if you've done all the marketing and things like that, it's just not the same. It doesn't mean you can't learn, but I've seen numerous therapists make this mistake. So just because you have a lot of experience as a massage therapist, that doesn't necessarily translate into years of business knowledge. You're just going to have to learn as much as you can before you open your doors and as you go. So be prepared to learn, and do not assume that because you can give a great massage that you can run a great business. It is a totally different skill set, but you can learn it, so don't be discouraged. Number 2, not listening to reality. Sometimes it's easy to get caught up in this amazing business that you have in your head, and you have this grand idea of what you're going to offer and how it's going to be received. But then reality comes knocking, and it is nothing like what you planned. If you do your research, like we'll talk about in just a few minutes, this mistake can be avoided, but it's not a one-and-done thing either. As an entrepreneur, you and your business will probably be knocked off of that beautiful little pedestal that you've designed in your head quite a few times. Now, the market isn't there like you thought it was, or you've made marketing mistakes and you're not learning from them. You think that you need to take your business in one direction and it just doesn't work. There are many business owners who get a year or 2 years or even 5 years into their business before they realize it's not what they wanted it to be. They avoid the reality that's been trying to get their attention, and they've not veered at all. Your business will be a constantly evolving organism, at least it needs to be. So listen to reality, and it smacks that beautiful little dream off the pedestal, pick it up, dust it off, piece it back together in a new way, and keep on trucking. Number 3, thinking that the customer is always right. Listening to reality is important. Listening to your customers and clients, Sometimes your client does not live in reality. The whole adage that the customer is always right is, excuse me, but it's a bunch of BS. The customer is right sometimes. Obviously, we have to take responsibility for our own screw-ups and our own mistakes and missteps, but that does not mean that you have to take every little comment by your clients and build your business around that. If you do that, you'll be giving away massages all the time because that's what they really want. I mean, don't we all kind of wish everything was just free and easy? But that's not the way the world works. You have a business to run, and you're the one that has to run it every day. If you're miserable in it because clients keep pushing boundaries, if you can't pay your bills because you keep discounting everybody who guilts you into it, or whatever the case may be, you're not running a business. You've just got a really expensive, stressful hobby. The customer is not always right. Now, obviously, if you're getting some truly constructive criticism from clients about ways to improve, as long as it's within reason and it fits into your business plan, go for it. But don't start changing things every time a client opens their mouth. Number 4, taking on too much debt. It is not like every business owner starts out without any debt and only builds what they can afford out of their own pocket. Personally, I'm not a fan of debt. I don't have credit cards. I have no desire for any loans other than my mortgage, and even that makes me somewhat uncomfortable. Debt just bothers me, but that's just me. So although part of me says don't go into debt to start your business at all, realistically, it's not the worst thing you can do. The key is to not go into major debt. A few $1,000s that you can realistically pay off in just a few years, that's not a big deal. It's when you put everything on credit cards or take out loans for every little purchase because you can't afford things. That's what really gets you into trouble. If you can't save money and you can't handle your finances responsibly and understand that that loan is just yet another bill that you're going to be paying, whether you have clients coming in or not, then you might want to get more financially stable before you jump into business ownership. Number 5, thinking you can do everything alone. While you can handle much of the startup of a business yourself, there are some things that are best delegated to other professionals. So for instance, your taxes. Hire a professional to do your taxes, somebody who actually understands small businesses, not just the random tax person at the local strip mall. Okay? This isn't something to wait until tax season for either. Find somebody before you even start your business so that you can consult with them on your business setup. You know, who you need to get a W-9 from, some basic bookkeeping standards and documentation that they're going to need come tax time, things like that. Hire a lawyer and get your business registered properly. Contract out your graphic design, your website design, and your copywriting. These are things that many people try to do on their own, and while you can, it will not be up to par. It will be mediocre at best, probably with a lot of things missed and done incorrectly, which can cost you a ton of time and money in the long run. So if at all possible, factor this sort of contract work and hiring into your startup cost. While it can be hard to hand over the reins of some things concerning your business, because it's your baby, right? It's still better for you and your baby when things are done by the professionals who have years of training and experience in their specific field. So trust them. Now here are 5 must-dos for starting your massage practice. Number 1, do your research. Research the competition. Look around at every bit of the competition. Now, I'm not one to use the term competition usually in our industry because it's not like you're giving the exact same massage as anybody else nearby, so I don't really see it as competition. But in a basic business sense, everybody else who is offering massage is your competition. So research them. Don't cold call them and just ask prices. Okay, that's not research. That'll get you nowhere. Actually do your research. Look up every single business offering massage and every therapist that practices within a 20 to 30 mile radius maybe, depending on your location, of course. Now, I want you to write out comparisons of each. This may seem crazy, but you'll see where I'm going with this and why it's important. Now, you not only need to know their prices, you need to understand their brand, exactly what services they're offering, who their target market is, where they advertise, how busy they are, what their website and social media accounts look like, how successful they seem to be, everything about them. The more you know, the better. So get online and look at everything. Go by and check out their establishment. Make an appointment and receive a service if you can so that you know what it's like exactly from the client's perspective. The more detailed you get here, the better idea you'll have of ways to stand out from the crowd, what works and what doesn't work for them, and therefore what may work and not work for you. You also need to research the local market. When you're doing the research on these establishments, try to make an educated guess as to who their target market is. If they seem to be struggling to keep the doors open, is it because that target market isn't readily available in your area, or is it because their marketing sucks and they're not actually reaching that target market? If they're succeeding, is it just because there is so much of that market available that there's potentially plenty of overflow for you? Or is it because they're just so freaking amazing at marketing? If you want a niche market at all, you have to do your research and see exactly how much of the local population there is that matches that. If you're looking for a lot of athletes, but the closest gym is 40 miles away and the majority of your town is the epitome of out of shape, then you're going to struggle to get clients. If you're targeting high-end clients, but the average income in your area is around $20,000 a year, you're probably going to struggle. Although there may be enough people to support your business, you would have to convince the vast majority of them to be clients in order to sustain your practice. So just do your research. Can the local market support your business? So, for example, I live in a pretty moderate-sized town in East Tennessee, and we have a little over 30,000 people in the city and around 60,000 total in the county. Now, there were rumors for years that we were going to finally get a few more restaurants like Red Lobster and Olive Garden and things like that. And for a smaller town like this, that was a big deal. Everybody was excited. I don't know why. People would say it was because we didn't have a liquor by the drink that was legalized. That's the reason these restaurants wouldn't move in. Apparently, the company was tired of requests and finally just stated to the city that they wouldn't open any restaurants here because of the average income. It just wasn't high enough. Plus, in 2011, I think it was, one of the biggest employers in our county, Berkline, shut down, along with a few other factories, putting hundreds suddenly out of work. That really hit our economy hard, right as everybody was still climbing out of the 2008 debacle. So even though liquor by the drink passed finally, these restaurants still wouldn't come. The average income had decreased even more. Then finally, the economy boosted again, numerous manufacturers came into town, a lot more jobs were created, and now we've had several new restaurants open, including an Olive Garden that should be open soon. So these companies do their research. If they don't think a town can support their business based on income and spending habits, they will not open there. And even as a small business, we need to take a page from that same book. So do your research before opening your doors. Number 2, figure out your brand. Now, I could talk for days on branding, but let's keep this simple. Your brand is the personality of your business. It's what people will feel, what sense they get about you and your services whenever they see or experience anything that has to do with your business. Part of this is identifying your target market. So figure out your niche, your ideal client, or at the very least, a general sense of the type of person whom you want to be a client, and build a brand around that. What do they like? What colors resonate with them? What kind of experiences are they looking for? What amenities do they expect? Develop your brand, even if it's just loosely at first. Nail down a few key points that you can explain to a graphic designer and get that brand developed. The designer can take care of the visual elements. Then it's up to you to build the rest. How do you want to speak to your clients in all of your written work and in your actual speech? Is it high-end professional, or is it more relaxed? Maybe even quirky or funny? One of the easiest ways to get a sense of the brand that you want is to think of your business as a person. What would they wear? What do they enjoy? What would they do on a night out? How do they spend their free time? How would they interact with people at a party? This is the type of thing that will help you pinpoint the personality and brand of your business. It may seem crazy, but it works. Number 3, get your finances in order. So I already touched on this in the mistakes, but I'm going to put this bluntly. If you can't handle money well personally, don't go into business until you learn how to. Money problems are the number 1 reason that businesses shut down. You have to figure out how much it's going to take to get the doors open, and then how much it will take to keep them open every day, every week, and every month. How much do you have to make in order to keep your head above water? So save, save, save. I cannot say it enough. Make sure you have true financial stability before you open a business, or you will only be struggling once you get in there. There will be slow days and sometimes slow weeks or even months. And you have to have the financial sense to carry yourself and the business through those times. So as part of that research that we talked about before, research the financial parts too. Number 4, find a support system. Owning a business can be lonely, especially in our field, since we're already such a one-on-one service industry anyway. It's important to have people in your life who will support you, who can celebrate you when things are great, and who can lift you up when times are hard. Whether this is family, friends, your spouse, a mentor, or even an online community, find a support system that you can grow with. You are who you surround yourself with. If you're still hanging out with people who have no ambition and drive, who think you're crazy for going out on your own, and who don't see your vision, they will only drag you down. Surround yourself with people who see it, who are driven themselves, because they will drive you too. Seeing somebody constantly fail keeps the fear of failure at the forefront of your mind, and seeing someone else succeed only makes us want to succeed more. Number 5, plan. This cannot be overstated. If you've not started your business yet, do not do it without a plan in place. If you've already started and you don't have a plan, stop whatever you're doing, make one. You need 2 plans, a business plan and a marketing plan. They can be combined in one. A lot of people do that, but a business plan will be more static, whereas a marketing plan will probably need to be tweaked pretty regularly. So a business plan is going to list out everything from the most basic concepts to the details that really make the structure of a business. The legal structures, coming up with a name, finding an establishment, the financials, so much more. A marketing plan is going to allow you to detail out exactly how, when, and where to market and help you keep track of what works and what doesn't, giving you the best foundation to learn how to spend those precious marketing dollars where they count the most. Thank you so much for watching today, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. And if you have a question you want answered or a subject you want covered, let me know and I will make a video for you. As always, check us out at mymassageworld.com, like us on Facebook, subscribe to us on YouTube, and stay tuned for more videos.